Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Kenneth Rampersaud show here on Island Zone Radio. As you guys know that today I'm doing my show right here in Richmond Hill, and I have my partner who in crime sometime. He's the man who do a lot of talking. So let's talk to Baldio. He has something to say about this case. So Baldio, let's talk.
Yes, well, welcome listeners. As you know, my name is Albert Baldio. I've been a long-time community activist and attorney and also former district leader. We welcome the arrest of this person who negligently killed Rita Persaud and killed her under very vicious circumstances. He left the scene of the crime. He did not report his body to the police. He did not get any medical help. And this is a sort of crime in our community that we stand firm against. I want to compliment the police in arresting the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator, I should say, of this crime, and make sure that justice is done. Now, it's taken us 9 long months, but that is because the investigation, there were probably cameras, there was a stolen vehicle, and all of this will play out at trial. But the important thing is that this is the very first definitive step in the process, and that is that there's an arrest, and then there's been an indictment, and from there will flow justice. And I wanted to compliment the Queen's District Attorney, Melinda Katz, and also the police precinct, the 102 precinct, in getting this arrest after 9 months of investigation and ensuring that we can now start a long process of Rita Persaud. Of course, this will not bring back Rita Persaud. This is a very sad day in our community, but it's also a judicial day where justice will be served, and hopefully we can get there, and that he can feel the maximum penalty of the law, because that's what we're calling for, and we want to make sure that justice is finally done. And here we have, we're live, and you don't mind, this is the District Attorney Melinda Katz. We want to thank her for her work. It's going to go live. She's come here to this press conference and also the rally. We wanted to thank you for the wonderful work you did. And then showing you the discuss. I know I've bothered you several times, but many others have also. So thank you for your commitment to justice and making sure that this long-awaited arrest has finally been done. Justice will be served. So I give you Melinda Katz, the District Attorney of Queens. Thank you.
So good afternoon, good evening, Miss Katz. I'm Kenneth Rampersaud from the Kenneth Rampersaud show. I want to say thank you very much for all that you're doing for our community, and I have a question for you too. What's your feeling about this guy? We have arrested him, and a young guy. What's your message to young people too? I know it's a lot of questions, but go ahead and talk.
No, first of all, I am pleased to be here under very difficult circumstances. I'm sorry about the circumstances, but the community really advocates, and that is a great thing. It's funny that you said it called me a lot. That's a good thing. Every victim should have people that fought so strongly to make sure that the defendant was brought to justice. But at the end of the day, I'm the district attorney, and the facts and the evidence matter. And we have indicted him, and he will be held accountable for this crime, leaving the scene of the crime, the criminal negligence, and all that comes with it. But you have to follow the evidence, and that's what we did, which is why it took a little while, because we want to make sure you get it right. And so I'm very proud to be here. We learned from Ms. Persaud, Auntie Rita, who was really a role model for so many people. And the advocacy that she brought in the community and the young people that she mentored. It's a great thing, and it's a great loss for the community.
I have a question for you that's so important. This is a young guy. What message you are sending out there for the young people who are driving around without license and so on?
So a license is not a suggestion, and having nothing to do with this case in general, though, a license is not a suggestion. And we do find that there is a lot of reckless driving that is happening more so than in the past. I am a very, very strong advocate against drunk driving, which happens sometimes, but in general, drunk driving, speeding, driving without a license. I think people need to understand licenses are not optional. They are the law.
Well, thank you very much for all that you're doing for our community, and all the very best. All right.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. All right.
And also, Ken, we have Miss the Assemblywoman who's been on. Jennifer, 1 minute please, he wants to talk to you. She has been on top of this case as an advocate for the community, the South Asian Guyana community. We want to thank the Assemblywoman for your leadership on this and also for your steadfast staying on issue, and we want to ask her to give a few words also. Jennifer Rajkumar.
So thank you, and I'm so glad I get a chance to meet you, and I see you all over the place representing our community. I want to say thank you very much. And how do you feel about this case that we brought? This guy was arrested.
Thank you so much. Sit around, everybody. I'm very pleased that after 9 heartbreaking months, finally an arrest was made in this case. Rita Persaud, affectionately known as Auntie Rita by the community, was beloved by the Guyanese and Indo-American community. She was a gifted singer. She dedicated her time to helping others. She was an active member of the Mandir. And so this really broke everybody's heart. She was a beautiful person. She was like a goddess on earth, the way people describe her.
Yes.
And it all ended on Christmas Eve, the tragic hit and run. So the community has been hungering for justice for the past several months. And we are comforted by the fact that the alleged killer has been arrested just this week. And we thank the NYPD for making this happen and for all of their hard work. So now we hope that the district attorney is prosecuting the case, and we hope for swift justice. It's justice for the community and justice for ourselves.
And my other question to you is that, you know, this is a young guy. When I was reading about him, just so young. What's your message for young people? You know, you're a young girl too. You know, yes. So what's your message for young people? You know, in all that I do, I always want to send a message for young people. What's the lesson?
It's a very good question. Young people are a future, and the future depends upon them doing good. This is the opposite of that. What this killer is doing. So we want to make sure that our children are in school, studying hard.
Correct.
Always stay busy. My mom used to always keep me busy.
Yes.
Because she said that way they're going to turn out good. Also,
Yes.
get involved in public service and helping others.
That's
My
right.
office is always open for any young people that want to get involved in government and public service and experience what it's like to do good and help others.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything you want to say?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, all right? And I hope I got you on my show one day to interview you, all right?
I'll run. I can do it.
All right, thank you very much.
We have a very long-time community activist. He's also part of COP, which is a civilian patrol group, which is one of the main pillars of keeping justice and law and order, where civilians can act in conjunction with the police as equal partners in law and order. And this is Sam Esposito. He's very, very active, especially in this area, and has always been the watchdog for the community and making sure that you have quality of life and making sure that you work and that the people is fully funded. Sam Esposito.
Hi, Sam. Hi, how are you?
And we just want to say thank you to the 102 Precinct for their diligent work in investigating this and catching the person up there. And we're glad that the families get the closure that they needed.
Oh, thank you very much. Here we have another special young man in our community who has been doing a lot of things. What's your take on today?
First, I'm Joe Youssef, an advisor for the Guyana Council and Investment in Diaspora Affairs. As I was just saying to Mr. Attorney Katz, this is a very, very good day for the community in that we were able to identify and arrest this perp after so many months on the run. And quite often we as a community kind of give up when we don't get an arrest immediately after a tragic incident like this here. And it took months, but it's after months of hard work that by the NYPD's office, we finally have someone who committed this horrific crime of more or less killing someone who, by an accident and left the scene of an accident, never had any kind of remorse for the life that was lost. And today we should all stand here and be proud of the NYPD that the Vigil who caused the death of Rita is finally being behind bars, and let the justice system take it over from here. And we'll follow it very closely, see the outcome of it. But to the family of Rita, the entire committee, and we all are very, very much saddened by the loss of a very genuine person within the community and this entity here right in Richmond. So I
Thank you very much, Sharon. Thank you. Hi, Shalaz. Also, we have the man O.C. Rogers. Let's hear what O.C. have to say about her. I'm not sure if he knows her, but we heard so many good things about her. Let's go, O.C.
Okay, so thank you very much for inviting me to make a comment on this show.
No problem.
It's certainly a pleasure under these circumstances, of course. I do not know personally, but any loss in our community is a loss that we all have to come together to mourn together, and also if it's a loss that was done in a manner where there was a perpetrator, we need to come together and ensure that the family receives justice. So that is why it's important that the community came together. The community was very active, and we have arrived today at what we can call justice. Nothing can bring back the lady. Nothing can bring her back. But at least, there must be some degree of closure for the family.
Right.
This time, knowing that the person who took away their loved one is finally facing justice.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's it. They haven't started anything as yet, but stay tuned. I'll be talking to you guys. The function should start soon. As we know, today is a vigil for a young lady who, 54 years old, died because she was in a taxi, and the day before Christmas, she died. A young guy didn't have a license, but he was driving a Lamborghini, and he hit that car and killed her. He ran away from the scene. After 9 months, he is now arrested. So let's see. I'm gonna walk around and see what's going on. I see Bibi Hack on. Rosanna Rashid, Shelly Mangrove, good afternoon. I think they're gonna start soon. Savita Nandram. I think they're gonna start now.
Greetings, Sitaram. Please feel free to join us. There are some people. Zaman, you can join us. Feel comfortable. Please feel free to join us here, because I know a lot of you were friends of Rita Persaud. Sitaram, good evening. I'm New York State Assemblywoman Jennifer Rajkumar, and I welcome you to this vigil in honor of Rita Ritwanti Persaud. We gather here to advance the cause of justice for Auntie Rita and to honor the life of a remarkable woman, a beloved leader in the Guyanese Hindu community. We gather this evening with the friends of Rita Persaud, and here with us are community leaders, faith leaders, our great
Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz, and New York's finest, the NYPD. Auntie Rita, as she was popularly known, was a beloved leader of the Guyanese Hindu community. She was a beloved devotee of the Shanti Bhavan Mandir. She was a gifted singer, a popular Indo-Caribbean vocalist. When she wasn't working as an accountant, she was busy giving back to her community. She was especially focused on uplifting the youth. And so many children, so many members of the community have stories about how she touched their lives. From all accounts, she was truly remarkable and a beautiful soul. As the first Hindu American elected official in this state, I personally remember her life with pride because she exemplified the Hindu ideal of seva, selfless service for the community. She was like a goddess on earth from everything that our community says. She was Devaji. She had the strength of Goddess Durga, the loving heart of Parvati and Radha, bestowing wealth, the wealth of her love upon others, just like Goddess Lakshmi. But almost exactly 9 months ago, this goddess on earth was taken from us. Tragedy struck close to this very spot where we stand here today. We all remember it well. It was Christmas Eve. Beloved leader Rita Persaud was in the back seat of an Uber on her way to see her family. It was a crisp, cool night. Out of nowhere, an expensive sports car, speeding at a fast rate, collided with her car at this very intersection before us. She was rushed to the hospital and was pronounced dead, leaving our community in heartbreak. At this time, close to the scene of the crime, let us all take a moment to honor the life and memory of Rita Persaud with a moment of remembrance and silence. Om Shanti Shanti Om. God, please bring us peace. I commend Ms. Persaud's family for their strength and for their grace in the face of incredible tragedy. Shortly after the tragedy, I took her brother and niece to see the police to discuss finding and arresting Rita's killer. It was the most difficult of moments, and I will never forget the strength and grace they exhibited in the face of incredible tragedy and pain. But today, I am comforted to report that 3 days ago, Rita Persaud's alleged killer was arrested. At long last, he was arrested. This was due to the diligent, hard work of the NYPD. The investigation was conducted by Detective Kwang Choi of New York City Police Department's Collision Investigation Squad, under the supervision of Sergeant Robert Denning. And we have Detective Kwang Choi here with us today. We also have officers from right here at home in the 102nd Precinct. These are New York's finest. They arrested the alleged killer and have brought us one step closer to justice. Thank you to the police for being an ally of the Indo-American community, for working with us, protecting us, informing us. I am grateful for the strong relationship the NYPD has with our South Asian and Indo-Caribbean community, working together for safety, for safe streets, working against hate crimes, and working for justice for Rita Persaud. Thank you a million times. Thank you to New York's finest. Let's all give New York's finest, the NYPD, a round of applause. We also have with us here today our great Queens District Attorney, Melinda Katz. She has been a long-standing friend to our community. She's a stranger to no one here, and she is prosecuting the case. The killer was arraigned this week on a 4-count indictment. We wish District Attorney Katz Godspeed as she prosecutes this case against the alleged killer of Rita Persaud, and as she brings the killer to justice. Thank you, DA Katz, for joining us today. She's going to address us. She has a long history of accomplishment in our borough, as you know. I've always been impressed with how she leads with compassion and strength to advance justice, fighting for immigrants, for women, for the disenfranchised. She was once an assemblywoman like me. She then had a distinguished career, and she's an inspiration to women in government. She's embraced diversity and in fact has many South Asians that she has hired in her office. So I'm pleased to introduce our great friend, DA Melinda Katz. Thank you for making the time to join us today.
First of all, let me thank Assemblywoman Rajkumar for the work that she has done since she has been elected Assemblywoman. I feel like we run into each other everywhere, and that's a good thing. It means that someone is working hard for the community and for the district. I want to thank everyone that's up here, the detective, of course, Captain Nar, and all of the police and all the ADAs and all of the investigators from the ADAs. I'm from the DA's office. They were also involved in investigating over the last 9 months. It has been a lengthy investigation, and part of the issue of being a district attorney is there's not much I can talk about, except for the fact that the defendant has been charged with criminally negligent homicide, leaving the scene of a crime. And I stand here today, and I thank Assemblywoman Rajkumar for allowing me to go first. It was a difficult day to get here, and there's a lot of things going on today. But this community, that's why I wanted to be here. This community fights every single day for each other. There is never anything that happens to one person in the community, in the Hindu Guyanese community, that doesn't happen to everyone. And it is amazing how many calls and emails and Twitter, spoken about this case. But I want to tell you something. Even though we actually don't do justice based on Twitter and Facebook and all of that, it's heartwarming for me to see that there is such compassion and such friendship out there for Aunt Rita, that's how she was called. The way that she tried to pass on the culture to the next generation, the chorus that now sings in her name, the people and generations of families that she has touched, of new Americans and people that have come to this country and before, was really outstanding to hear about. You know, as the district attorney, sometimes we want to know more about the victims, and we want to know more about the families and how they were in their lives. So I thank you for allowing me to get a little piece of Rita's life and to have knowledge of that. But thank you to the community. Hi, Jenny, thank you so much. I love your Facebook page still. She keeps me up to date on everything going on around here. And to everyone who is involved here today. Our thoughts are with Ms. Persaud. Our thoughts are with all the victims, by the way, of car violence and car incidents. And I'm just proud to be part of today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DA Katz, for your commitment to our borough, to justice, to our people. Thank you. We also have with us one of our great community leaders who we all know and love, Romeo Hitlao. I would like to invite him to say a few words.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. Well, we're here today, one step closer to justice, and I'm very happy, and I'm confident the district attorney will do her best to make sure this bad person is put away for a long time. And the detective, thank you very much for working so hard, day and night, and finally, it's not a cold case in our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Romeo. We have our district leader here, Richard David. Richard David is a tremendous leader for us. We all know him, and we thank him for everything he does. Richard, please come and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard David. I am here with my nieces and my brother, actually. On Christmas Eve, they live around the corner with my mom. Were awakened by this. They weren't awake; it was early, but everyone in this neighborhood heard this accident, and they were among the first people to be here and to respond. The truth is, Auntie Rita was someone who constantly looked out for me, and I guess I'm in politics. You need people to look out for you sometimes. But more than that, this was a life cut short. She was a beloved member of the Hindu Indo-Caribbean community that's called Ozone Park home for decades. I'm really glad to be here to see that we don't have another cold case, as Romeo said. And we're going to keep following this trial because it's just the start of the process to see that we have justice. This summer has also been a really violent summer with car accidents. There are so many. This is one incident, and a heartbreaking one at a heartbreaking time on Christmas Eve. But this summer we've seen a tremendous amount of people in the Indo-Caribbean Guyanese community, a lot of them are young boys, have passed away just this summer, just last week. 4 young boys from car violence and car accidents in this community. I hope that we can break car culture, but if it's gonna be here with us, I hope that we can just drive around a little more safely. Thank you, Assembly Member, for letting me say a few words and for convening us today.
Thank you, District Leader. Rita Persaud also keeps me up to date on everything that's happening. So, Jeannie, we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, my name is Rita Persaud, a community activist for 35 years, and I don't want to be redundant, but what I want to say is that I'm very proud that everyone has their own strength, and in this case, we all came together to make this possible. So I'm proud of everybody who is here and who has worked behind the scenes for this. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Jeannie, and for everything you do. We also have our great supporter, Joe Corona, the beloved president of the Our Neighbor Civic Association. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jennifer, for putting this together. Thank you to the NYPD, the detectives, the men and ladies in blue. So I was coming to Midnight Mass that day, the night that it happened, you know, and Midnight Mass is a very joyful occasion when we celebrate the birth of Jesus. And it was a horrific accident. And when the Mass started at midnight, you know, we really didn't know how the victim was, and we prayed for her. You know, and almost 9 months to the day, you know, they found the alleged killer, which is kind of symbolic because it's kind of like a new life. You know, it's the 9 month period. As Melinda said, though, like a lot of people were affected by the accident. I couldn't believe how many people told me that, like, a family member or a friend was involved in a hit and run and they never found the person. So this is kind of closure for those people as well. And, you know, I hope that we bring this to justice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe, for all of your care for our community. Zamin, I know you were very close to the family and have been very involved in representation for our community. So I'd like to invite you to say a few words.
Good afternoon. My name is Zaman, also known as International Dancer Zaman, outside of International Dancer Zaman, also known as Sundari, the Indian goddess representing the LGBTQ community. And Auntie Rita, I'm still getting chills just saying her name. And she was one of those individuals who taught me the life lesson of balance. Being able to be cultured, being able to be in a community representing our community, our people, our Indo-Caribbean people, and showing how rich our culture is, not only here in Queens, but to New York City. She was a vibrant individual. She has taught so many youngsters the lesson of love, humility, and being humble in our community. She will forever, forever be in our hearts. I know even tonight, the Shanti Bhawan family are hosting a virtual celebration for her. So please check that out if you're watching on Facebook as well, on social media, with all of the beautiful talent that she has grown and she has embraced and instilled in all of us. The Shanti Bhawan family will forever be in our hearts, and I know she have touched so many of their lives, even myself. She has always would say, masterful. And what a blessing that is to know that she's up there and she will forever continue to share all of our love and our respect that we have for her. To her family, this may not be closure. Once this individual is convicted, that will be closure for us. But it is the step in the right direction. It's in the step in the right direction to show the community that we will not stop. Violence in our community must come to an end. Discrimination must come to an end. Cars driving down the streets, racing, taking lives, our families, our brothers and our sisters, their lives matter. We all do. And we must hold them accountable. When we see injustice in our community, we must stand up. It is all of our rights to do that. And I cannot be more proud of our district attorney for continue this process. I know we have worked a lot while you were in Borough Hall. I've worked many times with Melinda Katz. And thank you for continuing the work that you do. Thank you for continuing supporting Queens and doing the work that we elected her to do. And remember, November 2nd is voting. Go out and vote. Because we, Indo-Caribbeans, we vote. Richmond Hill, we vote. Liberty, Little Guyana, we just celebrated Little Guyana yesterday. Little Guyana, we vote. And we could not have done that. We could not have had an amazing DA in the system without us voting. So make sure you go and vote November 2nd. Thank you so much for bringing us all together. We appreciate this. And yes, as Ginny says, we will continue to follow this case. Thank you to all those individuals who have worked behind the scenes tirelessly, who have protested and to make sure that this does not become a cold case. And I am proud today that it's not a cold case anymore, and we have found this person. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your heartfelt words and your commitment to justice and activism in our community. We do have candles as the sun sets, and we begin our vigil near the site of this terrible tragedy. This is one step closer to justice for us with this arrest. And once again, I'd like to thank the NYPD for what they did here, for bringing us one step closer to justice after a painful 9 months. And we wish the DA and her entire team good luck as they continue prosecuting this case and taking us closer to complete justice. And I want to thank everyone here who shared their memories as well of Auntie Rita. We also have with us Joe Yusuf, a great leader in our community, and I'd love for him to say a few words.
Thank you, Assemblywoman Rajkumar. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to the NYPD, to District Attorney Melinda Katz for a job well done, beyond well done. Just 2 days ago, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Erfanali, Dr. Barry Jagdio, we were all in a meeting when Jennifer made the announcement of this arrest. And it was the forum that actually sent the message that right here in our community that we lost someone who was such a great part of the community, such a person that actually was involved in everything. And to know and to find out on that day when we were meeting with the president and the vice president, that Jennifer was able to tell everyone there that that person has been found and has been arrested. And on behalf of His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Arfan Ali, Vice President Jack Hewitt, and the government of Guyana, I want to say thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, District Attorney Katz, for a job well done. Thank you, NYPD. And let's hope that justice is brought right now and this person will be convicted for the crimes that he has committed. And as my colleagues have said, it's not closure, a life was lost. But at least we could say that something was done to that person who took away such a person from our lives. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Well said. Al Baldeo, our great friend, is also here. Please come say a few words.
Thank you so very much. You know, I have traced the history of the relationship, which is most important here, between law enforcement and the immigrant community as a whole for 4 decades now. I had the honor and privilege of representing this community as its district leader, first elected district leader in 2004. So oftentimes, it's not often for the photo ops that I come here for, but also to keep the vision and the message alive that this is a two-way street. This is not only about the cops doing the work of civil responsibility and ensuring that public safety is guaranteed. This is also for you as new Americans and as immigrants to embrace the system and ensure that if you see something, you say something. It's a two-way street. You're not being isolated. I should say we are not being isolated from the system. I have seen its evolution to one that brings the progress and the fruits you have seen tonight, where we were very patient and we urged the district attorney, who's brought a new regimen of law and order in that office. And I've seen its evolution since D.A. Brown and others before, but you have really distinguished that office, and I thank you very much. D.A. Katz, please come forward, because we need to understand that this is the person who is in charge of all law enforcement. And we should never forget that, because in her responsibility lies the safety of this community, as long as you understand her job and you cooperate with her and other law enforcement. Well, you know, things don't always go great, so whenever there's any kind of animosity or any kind of friction, we as community leaders will be able to sort it out. So that is one of the great things that as this community has seen happen, and I've seen that evolve over 4 decades. And we need to build on that. We need to build in community partnerships. I want to call more. I see my friend Sam Esposito here. Sam is part and head of a COP, that is Civilian Patrol Unit. We need more civilian patrol units in this area, so that therefore we can have the presence of police and paramilitary police here that can help us. And not only those who do not really care whether we have law and order and whether we have stability. And that is most important. So I came here as a former district leader and one who's been very active in the community and will continue to be. That's what is there for me, to ensure that you are safe and that you have a better life and that you have a peaceful life. But I also want to tell you that you also have to be part of the law enforcement process, and you have got to make sure that you help law enforcement and that you consider yourself as true Americans and not as second-class citizens. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all. And I thank very much that Rita Persaud has finally got justice, and that the process to the judicial process has begun with the indictment. And I also want to thank Ms. Rajkumar, the Assemblywoman, for making sure and for bringing us all here together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Al Baldeo. We have Pandit Ram here, the president of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs. Hopefully he will be able to lead us in prayer as well. But before that, I would like to invite a civic leader has joined us. She's speaking in her capacity as civic leader, Joanne Ariola. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Assembly Member. Thank you for everyone who's here. Of course, I echo the feelings and the statements of everyone that has stood here and spoken about Auntie Rita. But what I see is that Auntie Rita, she led her life with love and preaching peace and preaching inclusion and teaching that you should be proud of who you are, no matter you know, how others see you. And what I see here is so many people of different religious backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds, but we're all here as one because of Auntie Rita, which tells me that although she met with a very tragic death, and we all suffer a tragic loss, her mission continues. And that's what's very important. She will receive justice through the District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Katz, the NYPD, the 102 Precinct Council, and the detective, Captain Nayor, is behind me. They worked tirelessly to make sure that the person who took her beautiful life was captured. And I hope that these remembrance words bring her family peace. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. So we have candles as the night falls. We remember what happened, and we take solace in the fact that we're one step closer to justice with the rest. And I'd like to thank once again Detective Choi, who made this arrest, bringing solace to our community. Detective Choi, please come closer to the front. We thank you for all of your hard work. For 9 heartbreaking months, our community was searching for answers. And after your hard work and the arrest that you made, we find great comfort. And we thank you. We thank you very much. So everyone, please give a round of applause to our great friends at the NYPD for protecting our community, for informing the Guyanese community, and for always working with us and protecting us. I would like to invite back Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz. We are so fortunate to have this much of her time. It really shows how much that she cares for our community. She's extremely busy working all across the borough, working on many, many cases, but she made the time to be with us today. That's really no surprise because that's how she has been for years with the South Asian Indo-Caribbean community. But I'd like to invite her back to say a few words to us.
Thank you, Assemblymember Raj Kumar. And to all the civic leaders and the elected officials and the police department that worked so hard for so many months to make sure that Rita Persaud's killer was brought to justice. A few days ago, we did indict him for criminal negligent homicide and also leaving the scene of a crime. And, you know, it's important to note that the justice system sometimes takes a while to move. But the evidence has to be there, the facts have to be there, and if you're going to prosecute a case, it needs to be on the right side. And we need to make sure that we work every day with the police department so that the charges will go through. I have one message, though, although I can't really speak directly to the case because the prosecution is continuing. I would like to take a moment to tag on what Richard David said. You know, driving in the communities in Queens County have become more dangerous and has become more reckless. And I'm here to tell you as the district attorney, having a license is not a suggestion, it's the law. And we need to make sure that people understand that if you get into a car and you drive dangerously and you don't have a license, it puts other people in danger, and you don't know who it puts in danger, whether it's yourself, or whether it's people in the community that you're surrounded with, or whether it's individuals that put their trust in you as the driver of the vehicle. So today we mourn Rita Persaud, we mourn Auntie Rita, and as the Assemblywoman said, or someone said up here, her essence will continue in the children that still sing, in the chorus that she used to direct, in all of the families and neighborhood people who she worked with every single day. On behalf of the Indo-Caribbean community, on behalf of the Hindu community, I thank you for making this a part of what you've been doing for so many months, giving me a little bit of insight to the victim for which we are protecting and giving justice to. I thank you for that. It has been so helpful, and I always stand with you. God bless.
Thank you, District Attorney Katz. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us. Justice for Rita Persaud. Justice for the Guyanese community. May it bring us all peace. And I thank everyone here for the hard work that they have done to bring us closer to complete and full and swift justice. We have with us the president of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs, Pandit Ram, and I would like to invite him to say a few words and lead us in prayer.
Thank you very much, Assembly Person Jennifer Rajkumar. Jai Shri Ram. Good evening to everyone. It is with great sadness that we are all here today, but there's a beautiful ray of light that shines at this time in our community, and that is that justice seems to be in way of getting done. I would like to thank Queen's DA, Melinda Katz, for her hard work, along with the detective in this case, who has made this all possible. We give a big shout out to the NYPD 102 for coming together and working with this community constantly. So, my friends, the Hindu community has suffered a great loss in the form of Rita Persaud. She was a great bhakta, a devotee of the Lord. Her melodious voice charmed the hearts of Hindus and brought us together in droves. And she served this community well. The Hindu community continues to mourn her loss. And it will be years before this grief will subside a little bit. But certainly, at this time, perhaps coincidentally, that now in Hindu Dharma, it is a period that is called Pitra Paksha, where we remember and we pay homage to our beloved ones who have departed. It started a few days ago and it will go for another 10 days or so. And it is in this period of time that this is happening. So it gives us an opportunity to remember particularly Rita Persaud, that as she is journeying in according to Hindu philosophy, when one gives up the physical body, then we journey for 1 year until we reach an abode that is called Pitra Loka. And Rita is now, we send a joint message to her this evening, all of us, that we say that justice is finally being done, Rita ji, and that you can continue your journey onwards with some form of closure, some form of understanding and satisfaction. That is what is happening here upon earth. My friends, I wish to ask all of you to join with me in a prayer. We'll do a few prayers. First one, I'm going to offer on behalf of all of us, the Hindu community and all of us, as the president of the Federation of Hindu Mandirs, all the Hindu Mandirs and all the Hindus in New York City, and all of us gathered here, as the Queen's DA said, that there's people of all colors, all races, all of us here. So let us join together from all hearts. We pray for our sister Rita Persaud. Harihi Om Narayana Surasreshta Lakshmi Kantavar Prada Anena Tarpane Naiva Preta Moksha Pradod Bhava Preta Moksha Pradod Bhava Ram Nam Satya Hai Yahi Sabka Ghat Hai. And my friends, at this time, we also, all of us, we remember and we pay homage. We give thanks to our ancestors. We give thanks to our foreparents. For this is the time that is provided, this 2-week period in our culture, for us to remember them specifically. And we give thanks to them, for it is their hard work, it is their struggle, it is their toil that brought us into the Caribbean through what we call Kalapani, the black waters. They have worked for 7 days, 12 hours a day in Trinidad, Guyana, Suriname. And it is because of them we are here today in America. And so we give thanks to them this evening as we remember them and we pay homage to them. Om Devatabhya Pitribhyascha Mahayogibhya Evacha Namasvahaya Swadhaya Nityam Eva Namo Namah Pitriganaya Vidmahe Jagadhari Dhimahi Tanna Pitru Prachodayat. Om Pitra Devaya Namaha. May all in this beautiful city work together in harmony. May there be peace, love, and may there be strength through that love among all of us. Shall we pray? Om Sarvesham Mangalam Bhuyat, Sarve Shantu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhaveta. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pandit. Om Shanti Om. Yes, we also have a representative from the 102nd Precinct. Please just come stand in front so we can thank you properly. Once again, thank you for everyone who has worked so hard for justice in this case. Thank you for everybody who came today, to our community leaders in the Indo-Caribbean community, to our faith leaders, to our political leaders, to our DA, District Attorney Katz. Thank you to all, and I hope that you will all stay a while, because strength comes from togetherness. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Om.
And there goes it there, everyone. Thanks for watching. Sad story, but you guys have heard everything there. So until next week, join the Ken Rampersaud Show. All right, take it easy. Have a very pleasant evening. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, and continue to share.